I'm a big fan of animation, and maybe even a bigger fan of the history of animation. So, The Day the Violence Died, although about fiction, is something that I really adore. This is the 18th episode of the 7th season of The Simpsons, directed by Wesley Archer, and it aired in June 1996. Now, on IMDb, this is not rated as highly as others. It's got 8.0 out of 10. And most Simpsons episodes up until this point have had at least 8.0 or higher. A couple are in the sevens. So it's not the most well loved, but from what I've read, it seems to be very well received still. And Bart and Lisa encounter this homeless man who claims to be the inventor, or creator rather, of Itchy and Scratchy. And he tells them a story about how he created these characters and somebody stole them from him, and obviously the Itchy and Scratchy empire went on to grow and become this colossal thing, and he's out on the streets with nothing. And obviously they don't necessarily believe him straight away, but then he's able to prove it. But then something goes wrong with that, and Bart and Lisa are determined to prove that he is the original creator of Itchy and Scratchy. But how can they possibly do that with no evidence and just one man's word now? I won't say what happens, but I will say it's very cleverly done. I've seen this episode a good few times now, and it always impresses me how they reveal certain things but kind of brush over them without focusing on them too much, and then when it comes back to them I kind of go, yeah, I should have picked up on that. Doesn't matter how many times I watch it, I will always, as long as there's a good amount of time between it, I'll always forget these things, which just makes it more exciting to watch, I guess. But yeah, I feel like the narrative is very cleverly done. As I said, I love the history of animation, and this kind of thing is not unheard of. This is obviously a fictitious representation of the animation industry, but it's not unheard of for people to lose the rights to characters or to not get credit where credit is definitely due. Felix the Cat comes to mind. So for me, it's fictitious, but it's based on truth in some way, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I loved seeing, the cells and things, and different interpretations of early Itchy and Scratchy, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's obviously very well animated, and it's very well told as a narrative. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Something, I guess this is a spoiler, so I'm going to say what happens at the end of it, because, well, once we've dealt with Chester J. Lampwick, who's voiced by Kirk Douglas, things seem to be going in the right direction, and Lisa and Bart are quite proud of themselves. Spoiler, as I say. And at the very end, or near the very end, a certain problem is resolved by two characters who look not unlike Bart and Lisa. And they comment about the fact that they're always the ones to solve these things. How could this possibly not be the case? And I just love that little bit of self-awareness. I thought that was very effectively done. So definitely, The Day the Violence Died. I don't like the title. Not the fan of the title of the episode, to be honest. But aside from that, I really like this episode. Very well rounded, very well animated, really fascinating. I don't know if it's one of my overall favourites, but definitely a personal favourite from season 7.